When the Osmo Pocket was released in the fall of 2018, we were all surprised by this camera. Pleasantly surprised, if you will. It was a great little camera capable of many things, and it was a fan favorite right out of the box. People were buying it because it was a fantastic camera and something they've never seen before. But there was a problem. There just weren't enough accessories for this camera at the time of launch. For shame for not having enough accessories. But now we can all agree there are plenty of accessories for this camera, maybe too many. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at some of my favorite accessories for the Osmo Pocket. But we need to get started because I have a lot of accessories and I don't have a lot of time to talk about it. So let's go. If you're new to the Osmo Pocket, maybe you just bought it or you're thinking of purchasing this camera, I would suggest holding off on buying all those accessories right off the bat. Take your time with this camera, take it out of the box and learn this camera as is, just as a simple gimbal camera. Slowly, you're going to realize what accessories you might want to get for your kit. This has a lot of accessories that you can buy with it. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great. Slowly shoot with this camera, you're going to find out what accessories you're going to need to get the shots that you want. Like I said, this camera can be fantastic right out of the box. If you play with it and get to know the camera, you're going to slowly find out what accessories you need and slowly buy those accessories as you go. When I was prepping to do this video, yes, sometimes I do prep work on these videos, I don't just wing it. I took a look at all the accessories I had. I had over 30 accessories for the Osmo Pocket. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much money I spent on all those accessories because there's a good chance my wife might watch this video and she may be just a wee bit concerned about all the money I spent on accessories for a tiny little camera like this. Anyways, I purchased most of these accessories. Some of them were sent to me by companies, but nobody is paying me to talk about these accessories. These are all accessories that I have and I'm not being paid to talk about these at all. The first accessory I want to talk about may be the smallest accessory and maybe the most controversial. Of course, I'm talking about the audio adapter. Such a tiny little thing causing such problems. We really wanted this device and of course now it works fantastic, but it was so hard to get. It didn't come out quick enough and it was always out of stock. Other companies were trying to make the same thing, but it just wasn't working. You needed to buy the audio adapter from DJI. Fine, it's a little bit expensive for what it is, but actually once I finally got it, it took me a long time because I ordered it and it finally came in. When I did go to use it, I was really happy with it. It really did give me good audio and I was pretty happy right out of the bat. The camera on the mic itself gives you pretty decent camera audio for a camera mic, but if you wanted clean audio, you wanted to hook up a mic, you needed to get the adapter, and that's what this is. I suggest if you want clean audio, you have to do it like this. Sure, you can go out and buy another device that will record the audio externally and then sync it up later. I have done that, and that does work, but it's a bit of a pain, and if you want to have clean audio right out of the camera, you're going to need this little device. Now, I pair the audio adapter with the Rode Micro. Anyways, this is a great little mic, and it's very soft when you need a little petting. Sometimes you had a stressful day, just don't do that to your mic, it's frowned upon. Anyways, this is a great little mic and it works really well for my vlogging setup with the Osmo Pocket. You plug it right in to the adapter goes into the camera and it works really well. It comes with this cable. Make sure you have a 2-ring cable and not a 3-ring or your audio is not going to work. And you're going to be wondering what's going on. It's probably the cable. To be completely honest though, I don't really like the design of this thing. For me, it's kind of small, but it's kind of big for what it is. And it's kind of clunky when you're trying to put it on your camera and then use other accessories with it. I'm not sure what the solution is, but I just wish the design was a little bit different. Of course, if the camera came with a mic jack on it, that would be fantastic. All of our problems would be solved. But this is something that we kind of need, and I just don't like the design of it. But you got to use it because we really don't have a choice, do you? When I first took this out and tried it out, I wasn't sure how much of a difference it was going to make. I did see some reviews online and they were kind of lukewarm. Some of them really liked it. Some people thought it was garbage. I tried to have an open mind and I tested it out. It worked really well for me and I was actually quite surprised of the quality. This microphone isn't a really expensive one. I tried it with a Sennheiser as well, some more expensive mics, and the audio was good. It was still good with this one, but the audio was very good and I was really quite pleasantly surprised. You could hook up a wireless system to this and get audio that way. This little device here allows you to bring that audio into your camera to really be creative and get really good crisp audio. Next up are ND filters. ND filters are so important for this camera. The aperture is set at 2.8. You can't do anything about that, but you can adjust the shutter. You just need to add some ND filters. This is a pack from Polar Pro. It's a 3-pack. I believe it's ND 8, 16, and 32. I'm quite happy with it. I bought them a while ago and they have been working fantastic. They just click on through magnets to the lens and they work and they give you that shutter that you want. If you're trying to get that 180 rule, so that gives you that cinematic footage, this is what you're going to need. Now, a whole bunch of companies have come out with ND filters. Try them out. This is from Polar Pro. Again, not sponsored. I bought these myself and I'm very happy with them. There's only a set of 3, but they come in a whole bunch of other sets, 6 that come with polarizers. You name it. If you want that kind of ND out there, you can find it. What I would suggest though is I have the ND32. I think sometimes I need a little bit more. I'm going to look to get the ND64 just on those really bright days when I really want to bring that shutter to the correct spot. Sometimes you need a little bit higher ND than 32, which sounds ridiculous because ND32 is pretty strong, but sometimes you just need a little bit more. But my favorite accessory by far is probably, as simple as they are, these ND filters. I remember when I was first buying accessories for this camera, the biggest thing I wanted was a mount to mount the camera to a tripod so I can get creative and get some different shots. I looked all over for a mount that I liked and there was nothing out there that was going to work for me. Now there are tons of mounts out there. The first one I did buy was this simple little mount. If you take a look at it, it's quite simple. The Osmo Pocket, give me a sec, goes in here, it stays in there, you're good to go. You can hold it upside down, it's not going to fall out. The only thing I don't like about this is that it doesn't have a spot for your audio adapter, so it wasn't going to work as a vlogging setup. My only issue with this mount, this is from Sunny Fry, or Sunny, I'm not even sure I'm saying it right. Anyways, my only big issue that because it wasn't firmly connected to the Osmo, I was afraid I was going to drop it while I was shooting with it. Now, it has a pretty good suction on there. It's really hard to get out of there, but I still thought maybe there's a chance it might fall out. That plus not having the hole for the audio adapter didn't make it a great mount, but I still really like it. And when I do simple time lapses or motion lapses where I just need to connect it to a tripod, this works really, really well. I can just take it off, put it back in and shoot. I like that part. Now, another adapter I was sent that didn't really work out that well is this simple little adapter. It's pretty simple. It hooks on around the pocket and then it has adapters for whatever you want to put it on. If you want to put it on a tripod or something else, you can do that. It works pretty well for what it is. For me, it's just a little bit too simple. It does give me the option of putting the Osmo adapter on it, which is great, but for me, it was just a bit simple. Now, my favorite mount has to be this one from Ulanzi, I believe is how you say it. I'm not very good with names. I apologize. Anyways, I really like this. I was sent this, again, not paid, but I was sent this to use and I really liked it. It has a lot of different adapters on there that you can adapt the GoPro mounts to it or any other kind of mounts, which is great. It has a mount for a tripod or anything else you want to mount it to. I use this mainly now for my vlog setup when I go out with my camera, whether I'm hiking or I'm just outside vlogging with the camera. This is a pretty good setup. It has a cold shoe on it, so if you want to set up a mic, you can. It's nice and easy. If you want to set up anything else, a light or any kind of adapter to this, you can do that as well. It gives you lots of options, which I think is great. Now, another accessory that I have that I didn't think I was really going to use all that much, but I actually use it a lot, is an accessory rod. Now, this one is not the one from DJI, not the extension rod that you can connect your camera and all that stuff to. This is just a simple little selfie stick, if you will, or selfie rod. Now, I did order the extension rod twice, actually, but both times they were canceled and they never made it here. Maybe that's a sign that I'm not meant to have this extension rod. I'm not sure. Anyways, I think I will get the extension rod in the future and I'll do a review on it because it does look like it's something interesting that I would like. I really do like vlogging with this camera and it looks like it's a setup that would really help me do that a little bit easier. But in the meantime, this thing here is actually pretty good. I'm able to get all the shots that I want. I can hook up anything I want to the selfie stick or selfie rod, and it works really, really well. There are lots of different configurations for this thing, and I'm pretty darn happy. And the selfie rod itself only cost me $10. So you got to be happy with that. You add your own mount, which I have several, and you have a whole bunch of different options for shooting out vlogs or anything else. If you want to do jib shots with this, you can do that when you have something that you can extend, like a selfie stick or a selfie rod. So I thought we'd take the camera out for a real world test. I'm out here at the hiking trails. I have my kids with me, and they're going to be loud. They're actually my favorite accessory to take while I shoot with the Osmo Pocket. Anyways, just talk about my rig. I have the Rode Micro on here with the cable and the audio adapter, of course, all attached to my Ulanzi mount. And I have an ND on here right now. I'm shooting ND 32, I believe. Going through the woods, it's maybe a little overkill. Anyways, I think it's a pretty decent setup. I don't like having all these accessories, and maybe that extension rod will come in handy and knock off some of the accessories, But so far, I'm pretty happy with it. And you can do a bunch of different things. So I like to be able to talk and vlog at the same time. And it's a pretty decent setup. So now I'm letting you look at my ridiculous setup with the GoPro over here. Now this is unbelievably ridiculous. I don't recommend it, but I wanted to get a shot of me vlogging with my vlogging setup, which is a little bit overkill, but sometimes that's the fun of accessories, to be able to use accessories in different ways. And as you can see, that's what I'm doing. I'm shooting right now. I have my microphone on. I have the ND filter. I have my Ulanzi rig. I have my selfie stick, and of course I have my GoPro set up as well. But anyways, you can see you can really add a lot of accessories to these kits. Again, most times I like to be minimalist when it comes to this, but for today I wanted to try out all my accessories for my vlogging rig, and it's not too bad. You can see it moves very, very smoothly. As you can see with this rig, you can pretty much shoot anything that you want. You can hold it out to get a little bit wider of an angle. The wide angle lights might come in handy for something like this, but so far I think it's pretty good. Of course, the further you hold it out, the louder you got to be, because you need that microphone to pick it up. I'm right beside a river with some rapids, so you can hear the water, and it's pretty windy today, so I'm not too sure how the audio is going to be. Hopefully it's holding up okay. Now, another fun accessory for the Osmo Pocket is the car mount. Now, of course, this is not a special car mount from DJI or anything for the DJI Osmo Pocket. It's a simple mount for the GoPro that I've rigged up so that you can attach it to your car to shoot out of the windshield if you want to get that shot, or I like to shoot it looking back at me while I'm talking to the camera or vlogging. Now, be careful while you're doing this. You need to take all the safety precautions. I normally go to a small street or a quiet little area that I know doesn't have much traffic, and I can have the camera in front of me, so I don't even really have to look at it, and I can create my vlogs that way. It's a fun look. You have things going on in the background. You set it up. Because it's on a gimbal, everything's nice and smooth. I think it's a great little thing. Let's take a look at that now. All right, so as you can see, this is my setup for driving and vlogging with the Osmo Pocket. I'm pulled over to the side of the road. This is just a quiet little road. Not many people use it, so that's why I'm using it as a testing ground. I would not use this setup if I was driving the highway or anything like that. I would definitely not want to be distracted by this camera, so safety first, of course. But this is a setup that I have tried, and it works fairly well. It's pretty much a GoPro setup with the Osmo on top of it. So let's give it a try, shall we? Now, this road is pretty bumpy, so it's probably wasn't the best road to choose. But again, when you're driving on country roads, not much you can do. You have to go with what you have. So hopefully the Osmo is staying with me. I'm not too sure if it is. Hopefully it is. If it's not, that's okay. It's just something I wanted to test out. If this is something you wanted to try out, I mean, this setup kind of works. I'm sure there's lots of other setups out there. Lots of people with their own do-it-yourself setups, which I love seeing. People come up with creative ways to get the job done. But anyways, this is mine. I have it hooked up to the windshield, and so far I think it's pretty decent. Now, maybe one of the most useless, or one of the dumbest accessories, if you will, is the bike accessory. Now this is something that I created for myself last year because I wanted to be able to take my camera out and vlog while I go for a bike ride. Now you see people vlogging all the time on one wheels or skateboards or other kinds of vehicles. But I wanted to be on my bike and to vlog with it, but I couldn't get the proper setup. Holding it out there wasn't going to work for me, and they didn't really have the proper accessories to do that. They have similar accessories now that'll work, but I think we can all agree my accessory for my bike mount was probably my most wild accessory. Now, it didn't work perfectly. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it did give me a lot of fun options, and I got a lot of funny looks while I was out on the bike path. So that's worth it, isn't it? Now, another very cheap accessory that I bought is this simple little cable. Now, this cable allows me to connect my camera to my phone without mounting the camera to the phone. I just connect my phone right here to the one end of the cable and this to the Osmo, and then I can control it just from the phone itself. I don't have to have them connected on the mount and control it this way. Now, why would I want to do this? Sometimes I like to have the camera a little bit further away from me where I can sit back and just look at the phone and make adjustments. Whether I'm doing a time lapse, a motion lapse, or something like that, or I just want to do a simple little shot where I'm moving the joystick on the phone controlling the camera. This is a way I can do it without the wireless adapter. I can do it with this cable attached to it, and the cable itself only cost me $5. That was a pretty good deal, and it does give me the results that I'm looking for. Now, another accessory that I have, I didn't purchase just for the Osmo Pocket. I already had a power bank. This can come in handy in many ways, especially if you're doing time lapses or motion lapses where you're going to need a lot more power than what's on the battery itself. You want to connect this to your camera. It'll give you a little bit more juice to let the camera run for a longer period of time. It would also allow you to recharge this on the go, which sometimes I've done where I didn't think I was going to need it, but I brought it with me, whether on a hike or any other kind of trip. And sure enough, I've needed it. So having a power bank with you, this one wasn't expensive. It was definitely a great deal. This was Amazon, I believe, under $30. And it's worked really, really well. I use it on other devices as well, my phone, but it also really works well on the Osmo Pocket. Now, there are a lot of other accessories out there for this camera that I didn't go over. Of course, the biggest one maybe is the wireless adapter or the Wi-Fi adapter. Now, this is a great little device you hook onto your camera and you can control your phone and your camera. That's great. I did get this device and I did use it. I thought it was pretty good, but for me, I wasn't using it enough, so I sold it because I just wasn't using it enough to be able to keep it. It just wasn't something I was going to use. Other people love this wireless adapter and that's fantastic. Another one is the scroll wheel. I did try it out again. For me, I would really prefer a joystick. I don't like having to make that switch for up and down, side to side. It just wasn't something that worked for me. Maybe because I'm too slow, I'm not too sure. But it wasn't something that I wanted to use on a consistent basis. So again, I sold that because I wasn't using it enough. It was really just in the drawer. I wasn't using it, so I got rid of it. It doesn't mean it's not a fantastic product. I know some people love it. They can get some really creative shots and it gives you some more options with that device, but for me, I wasn't using it, so why was I going to keep it? Now, another accessory I didn't mention is the underwater housing. Now, I've never used this device, so I'm not sure if it works well or not. I've seen good stuff online and not so good stuff online. So if you use it, I'd like to hear your results, but for me, it wasn't something that I was going to use, so I never got that accessory. One of the biggest mounts I have for the Osmo Pocket is my phone attachment. This one is from Newer. It's a very simple one, but it allows you to connect a whole bunch of different devices to it. Now, this is a little bit of overkill if you ask me. I don't often use the phone and the camera. I like just a small form factor of the camera, so I don't use the phone. But sometimes it comes in handy to hook up the tripod and to your phone adapter and hook up the phone, and then you can get some really good settings for your time lapses or your hyperlapses or your motion lapses. This setup comes in handy. I don't like to move around a lot with it, but it does come in handy. It does hook up a lot of your devices, and it makes the rig that you want come to life. So it's something that is interesting, but I don't use it that often. But a lot of people really love using the phone with the camera. I'm just not one of them, but I do see the advantages of it sometimes, so I do like to have that option. And sometimes I will hook this up if I'm going out, especially on a nice landscape trip. Maybe I'm hiking, maybe I'm camping with the kids and I want to get a nice shot of the water and the hills and the mountains. I'll hook this up and it'll give me some fantastic results, but it is a little big. Of course, at the end of the day, my favorite way to use the Osmo Pocket is without many accessories at all. Just the camera itself. A simple little Osmo. Maybe I'll add some ND, of course, a micro SD card, and I'm a happy man. I'll go out and shoot for hours just with this little device, just like this. But of course, having those accessories to build up your rigs, to get the shots that you want, is part of the enjoyment, of course. And that's why we love this camera, to get some great shots and add the accessories that are going to allow you to get those great shots. It's a lot of fun, and I think you guys will agree that the Osmo Pocket is one of the most interesting and fun cameras to use. Well, that's all the time I have for today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Subscribe if you like. I really enjoy making videos on filmmaking and camera gear, and of course the Osmo Pocket is one of my favorite cameras, and I hope to make a lot more videos on this tiny little gimbal camera. Anyways, we'll see you later. I'm going to go out and do some more shooting. I'm sure you will. And enjoy the Osmo Pocket.